I gotta get a pump.
Yeah, take a moment.
Look at us, man. Superman.
That weight is more than what Flavio Boccanini weighs, our other guest professional on the show, and Kevin's doing it for repetitions. Good job, Kevin.
Yeah. Every drop, every ounce, every piece of energy within me.
The experience of being much stronger than everybody else, I think that's an unbelievable experience. You feel richer. You feel that sooner or later that you can do anything.
For some reason, my stream says it keeps cutting out, so I'm trying to make sure that it's actually going. It says could be an active firewall or something like that. I don't know. Sometimes this thing doesn't really work too well. It's not like I don't have a good connection. My Wi-Fi connection's strong. All right. So, good morning, everybody. Today is Saturday, February 7th. It's 6:05 a.m. in the morning. We're going to hit some back and biceps. We're going to start with some T-bar rows. We're going to do some lat pull downs. We'll do some cheek curls, and we'll do some dumbbell curls as well. So we're going to get started in a second. What else did I want to say before we start? Of course, check out my website, fezgarcia.com. Check out the free testimonies of faith in Jesus Christ. It's called Jesus Lifts, and you can get it in PDF format, print it out, or you can get it in EPUB format, which is the digital version, and read it at your leisure. Share it with friends, family, loved ones. It's amazing testimonies, life-changing testimonies of faith. If it wasn't for Jesus, I'd have nothing. I did want to make one comment before we start lifting, and that's people are complaining online. A lot of people always complain online, but people are complaining a lot online right now about, the chemtrails that are happening in the skies and spraying. And it's very concerning because farmers are saying that aluminum is ending up in the soil. It's inhibiting crops from growing, especially the heirloom organic crops. Some people say that the GMO seeds that are able to be patented by these very strong financial interests like Bill Gates and whoever is behind it, really, probably other people as well. they are not affected by the aluminum being sprayed. People have done studies like aluminum, barium, strontium, and other things, sulfur dioxide, silver iodides, and other who knows what else, bacteria and fungi and all kinds of weird stuff are being sprayed, and somehow those GMO seeds are not affected by it. I think that, they're made to be resilient. They're made to be so resilient that the Roundup pesticides, the glyphosate, the stuff that's sprayed to desiccate our crops and wheat and oats and all this stuff in America here, they're more resilient overall because they are able to be sprayed with that stuff and they still live. So I don't want to eat GMO stuff. Do you? I want organic stuff as much as possible, health promoting foods, right? So whoever's idea this is they're psychopathic, they're psychotic, and I believe that they have an agenda to harm our people and harm Americans and stuff like that. And it doesn't make sense because they are susceptible to the same things. If the sky is being sprayed with this stuff, it's got to affect them too. So I don't get the mentality of these, people who are doing this. So I'm looking at the screen here, and it looks like there haven't been any interruptions. There haven't been any problems so far with the stream. I don't know why it's spotty like that, But anyway, I just wanted to say that, and also finish that thought. Jesus is the only solution to that problem. So, a lot of people complain, but a lot of people are not willing to accept the fact or understand completely the power that we have as Christians to pray and intercede for these things. The Bible says, believing you shall receive and stuff like that, and commanding things to be, where they are under the authority of Christ, because Jesus is the King of Kings and he's ultimately in control of everything. So our job is to take authority over these things and declare these things that are not as if they were, and all this stuff that the Bible says. And if we do that as a body in mass, I think we can have a positive impact on these negative things that are happening. And of course, not to mention all the other revelations that are contained within the Jeffrey Epstein files, and the dump that was recently released, and all the crazy stuff. And some of the stuff is being said, and I haven't been able to verify some of it, but I'm sure things are so crazy that I pretty much believe everything I hear, because the crazier it is, it seems the more true it turns out to be. Like McDonald's food having human meat in it. Sounds crazy, right? But if you consider the fact that Ray Kroc is a Satanist, and this was also something that was said in the Epstein file, supposedly, about McDonald's human meat and stuff, now I suddenly believe it. Now I'm like, you know what? It makes sense. I don't eat McDonald's. I haven't eaten McDonald's in a long time, but it's now it's really not a good idea to eat McDonald's. Not just because it's bad for your health, but it's also, you're part of some ritual. I don't know. All right. Anyways, I finished that thought. So I'm going to start lifting and getting into my sets. I'm going to just try for a short rest time. I slept good last night, so I feel good. I have about an hour, so we're going to get into it. Let's do it. A little ballistic stretching. Ooh, that feels good, So I stretch like this. For some reason, my shoulders feel tight. I should do more innies and outies. Get some weights, strengthen my shoulder capsule. Okay. Oh man. So what am I using? I'm using this device. It's a device that you take an Olympic bar and you push it into one end and you tighten it down. There's a nut and it swivels, right? It swivels. So it makes it so it turns your Olympic bar into like a T-bar row type of thing. And then of course I use like a regular lat pull down bar, put it underneath, trying to hit the center, and I'll do them like that. In case you're wondering, that's what I'm doing. Let's take 30 seconds. Even though that was probably just 30 seconds right now, but gotta catch my breath. No, set one. I always lose count of sets. So, what was I saying? Yeah, I mean, look, just like the Bible's been proven correct about everything, the whole world is under the power of the enemy. That's what the Bible says. And look, so many people are now just realizing with the Epstein file stuff that our leaders are literal Satanists and pedophiles and child sacrificers. You know what I mean? I've known this for years, so it's not like a shocker to me. But I'm just glad that a lot of people are finally seeing it. Like, it's hard to deny it at this point, so I'm happy about that. A lot of positive things that are happening as a result. Okay, I'm at like 12. That's not bad. Let's do a minute. A minute rest. Have I put on muscle over the past roughly 6 months? I've been training at this point. Definitely. I feel it. I see it. Feel good. Did I put a little fat on after I stopped counting my calories and being so strict? Yeah, I put a little fat on, but not much though. I feel like I've been able to do it in a conservative fashion to the point where it's not too much. You know what I mean? So by the time summer rolls around, I'll cut a little bit more. I'll start tracking my calories more closely, weighing my food. I use a food scale. I weigh my food. I really count the serving sizes and stuff. And that'll help me to get a little bit more lean. So that's what I'm going to try for. Let's do another set. I could only get 10 that time. Damn. Minute 10. Minute 11 seconds. How about that? Oh man, so I got a lot to do today. I have to change my oil in my car. I've been forgetting to do that. I've been really good up until now, though. Like I drive a Toyota. Okay, I love the Toyotas, man. It lasts for a long time. Some of these guys say they drive their Toyotas for like 400,000 miles before they poop out. And I have to say, I've been on top of my oil changes. I'm at around 200,000 now. I bought it used when it had like 80,000 miles on it. And I drive a lot to work and stuff for commuting. And so far, so good. I mean, engine's top notch. The only thing is you have to remember to change the transmission fluid, which was my mistake. That's why I'm using a restored transmission at this point. But if I had remembered to do that, I would have no issues. It's a solid one. Oh man, still only getting 10. That's okay. We're in there between 8 to 12. That's good. I already lost count of sets. I'm not sure if that was 3 or 4, whatever. We're going to just keep piling them on. Number of sets, I'm saying. The weight's good. We don't need to touch that. So, besides, getting my oil changed today, what else do I have to do? I have to pick up something from CVS. I'm sure you guys are very interested in my to-do list today. It was delicious last night. I made some chorizo. I grilled some chorizo on the grill, man. I had to shovel my way out to the grill though, because it was packed with snow, but it was delicious, man. I'm gonna get some more of that stuff. All right, let's do another set. Okay. I'm getting 10, I'm happy. From what I understand, you actually get more muscle recruitment and stuff at a slightly lower rep range for your chest, your back. It's your legs, your quads, and other muscle groups that are typically respond better to a higher rep range, especially the legs and calves and stuff. So we're gonna get a couple more of these, hopefully a bunch more, and then we'll switch it up to some lat pull downs. You know what I mean? Right here. Yep, right there. I am checking the comments and the chat section periodically. If you have anything to say, if you want to hang out and just chillax, that's fine. I always like that word, chillax. Chill, relax. right, at this point, we need to increase the rest time because I'm falling below 10. Let's do a minute 30. Why do we keep the rest times relatively short? Well, the reason is it's almost like you're filling up a balloon with air, right? If you start filling up that balloon with air and you suddenly stop, what starts to happen? Well, that's correct, Johnny. The answer is the air starts to escape, and then you have to start over again, right? It's like 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. So the short rest time mitigates that factor, and it makes it cumulative. So now you're pumping up that muscle, you're pumping blood continuously without losing too much air. You know what I'm saying? Like before, what I would tend to do is I'd just be, I don't know, unconsciously like taking like 3, 4, 5 minute rest times. So you really don't know, but now it's like it's a shorter rest time. You definitely notice that cumulative effect, and it's almost becomes a form of conditioning too. And I like that factor too. Marcus Lyon says the mass muscle beef strikes again. Thank you, man. Am I like Zorro? Except I'm like the lifting Zorro, except it's like a Mexican wrestler's mask. Maybe I should do a Zorro mask every now and then. But anyway, my timer just went off. Let me hit another set. Ooh, that was 8. We still can only get 8 at this point. I don't really want to increase my rest time too much. We're gonna stick right here. We'll do a few more sets at this in this setup here. So what was I gonna say? The mask makes me very mysterious, Marcus Line says. I mean, I'm just a guy. I mean, you know, it's not like Bruce Wayne, you know. Bruce Wayne, he was Batman. Like, he was a millionaire by day. By night, he was a masked crusader, a masked, you know, like a, what's that? Vigilante, kind of. So I'm this mass lifter by morning, and by day, I'm a regular Joe with a lame job, just like everybody else, just trying to pay the bills. So I guess in that sense, that would be cool if I was like a famous person, though, right? If I was like, I don't know, some tech billionaire or something like that. But I'm definitely not. I'll tell you that right now. Anyway, what are you up to? How's your day going? Let's do another set. Famous people aren't as cool as me. Thank you, man. Isn't that funny? Like, I grew up in the first of all, I'm an 80s baby, right? So I was born in the 80s. In the 90s and stuff, that's when celebrity culture was still cool and still in. Hollywood was very big. 2000s and up start to peter out. And today in 2020, Hollywood, celebrity culture, all that stuff is basically dead. And so I feel the same as you, man. I mean, especially all this stuff that's come out after this Jeffrey Epstein stuff, and you're realizing that your favorite celebrity was like a Satan worshiper. That's the realization so many people are coming to, and they're like, how did I look up to this person for so long? How is this person? How did I have like a poster on my wall as of this person? You know what I mean? They're sick, man. A lot of them are sellouts. That's the truth. They sell out, literally sell their souls to the devil to get where they are. So Mark Stein says, I'm a gaming, a bit hanging out with you for now. Cool. You're welcome to it. I'm boring. Don't worry. I don't know how people can be so busy and weird these days. Well, busy, I can understand, just paying the bills and trying to keep, trying to, make ends meet. But weird, I'm not sure what you mean, if you can explain a little bit more. But yeah, I agree. I mean, overall, I think people are still kind of like, some of them, not all of them. I think people are coming out of the trance. But too many people are still invested in stuff on TV, celebrities, and all that stuff, which I think is lame, definitely. Got to hit another set. I might have to drop this weight. I can't even get 8 at this point. All right, here we're gonna do it a little bit lighter now. Let's do this set. Come on, come on, baby. Take a deep breath. Oh my God, that's light. I just remembered I got to be kind of quiet because my wife is still sleeping upstairs, and she complained. She was like, I heard you banging the weights around down the basement. You dumbass. Now, she didn't say you're dumbass, but that was like her tone. I was like, sorry about that, babe. Marcus Line says, haha, I don't know, I'm bad at explaining. It makes sense in my head, but using the proper words is my forte. Well, you're pretty good in your writing. Can understand what you're saying. So, as I was saying, let me put the timer on. I dropped the weight, and this was kind of almost too light. At the same time, I don't know. It's like, you know what I'll do? Here's what I'll do. I'm going to shorten the rest time and keep it at this weight because it is a little light. We'll try to do maybe two more sets. And I'll switch it. It's a heads up. Pretty soon, what I'm going to have, I have a friend of mine, brother of mine, I should say, brother in Christ. He's over in Australia, and he checks out the stream sometimes. He's going to come on, and we're going to do a joint workout. He'll be on the screen working out from Australia. I'll be working out here in the States, Eastern Seaboard, as they say. And it's going to be kind of like a conversation / interview / workout, if that's even a thing. This is revolutionary stuff here. This stuff has never been done before, guys. I hope you know that, right? I hope you know that what I'm doing here, this live workout / chat stream is state of the art, guys. It's brand new stuff. especially if I bring on a guest at the same time. Come on, that's gonna be a game changer right there. That's gonna be a new zeitgeist, as they say. All right, let's do another set. Oh man, but in all seriousness, the stuff I was just mentioning a couple minutes ago about, like, a lot of these celebrities being sellouts and whatnot, it really is true if you look into it. I mean, the real question is, like, are you willing to look into it? Some people are just too happy in their ignorance. They're too happy in their complacency to look into these things, I'm going to put my timer on. Like, this has been known for years now, guys. What's happening now is, like, this has been known for years. It's just that some people are still catching up. There's a point I was about to make, but I can't. It escapes me right now. Maybe it's because all the blood's in my muscles and not in my brain necessarily. I'm trying to keep my brain mentally alert by talking. Maybe that's going to keep some blood in my brain by just yapping, running my mouth like this. Okay, I'm thinking one more set of this T-bar row, transitioning to the lat pull down, and then we'll go through some biceps, you know what I mean? So, try catching my breath. That chorizo yesterday is delicious, man. If you get a chance, go to your local butcher, get some chorizo. Not many people go to your butchers anymore, do they? Sometimes you gotta go to the butcher to get the best meat, man. They have London broil. The London broil, man, that's a banger for the amount of money that you spend. It's on the lower end as far as cost is concerned. Delicious though. You put a little tab of butter on there. I like to do a little garlic rub on that. You can't beat it. Other cuts of meat too. They're a little more expensive though. Put this over here. I'm gonna go over here. Let me turn the light on. I'll go back and forth with the mic, and we'll get some more here. I don't really need to psych myself up, I used to know this guy. He was an owner of a powerlifting gym, right? He's a power lifter himself. You can see all his titles on his wall. He had pictures of, like, old school Arnold on the wall and stuff, which I don't know why, because Arnold was not a power lifter, but I watched him lift one time. He would hit himself in the head with a metal folding chair, boom, boom, multiple times just to psych himself up for a lift. And I'm not about that. I'm not about to do that, anything like that. In my opinion, bodybuilding is the opposite. You want to stay calm, collected. You want to stay in a state of zen. Your mind in a zen-like state, and you'll be doing good. You'll keep the cortisol levels low, pump that testosterone through the roof. All right, let's do it. That burn. Oh. That's number one. Marcus Line says, haha, I never understood that type of hype up. When I worked out more, I listened to classical music, and people would say that that would put them to sleep, but it used to pump me up. Oh, absolutely, man. Classical music, by the way, not only makes you smarter. Now, they say that when you're a baby and you listen to classical music, it makes you smarter. Like, they had these toys. I think it's called Baby Einstein or something like that. I know, because my daughter, she uses that stuff. And supposedly makes your baby smarter, classical music. I mean, isn't that why people put their kid in like piano lessons at a young age? Because, you know, piano lessons, they play classical music. I actually played classical music when I was a kid too. My mom put me in piano lessons and stuff. Believe it or not, I can play the piano. Yeah, I haven't played it in a long time now, because after like high school and college, you really have no reason to play. Like in high school, like I would play at variety shows. I'd like play solos and stuff, and people would be like, wow, how'd you memorize all those notes? I don't know. I just had the mind to memorize stuff, but only piano. Like my mind just does not like a trap at all when it comes to memorizing facts and stuff like that. But I haven't kept up with it, but maybe I should have. But I really have no reason to play piano. Like, that makes sense for me anymore. I used to like to perform and do solos, but after that, it's like, who wants to listen to me do a solo? Nobody. You have to be good to a certain point, and then people are interested, you know? All right, let's do another set. That was 10. Let me move this bar. I'm tripping over it. Mark's line says, totally. When I was younger, I didn't have interest. As I grew older, I had all the interest in the world. But I feel it's hard to learn. What happens is, when you're younger, they say your mind is like a sponge. It really is. If you could teach a kid a skill when they're young, they'll like master it more easily than if you're an adult. That was kind of the case with me. I think I started piano lessons when I was like 5 years old, 5 or 6. But if I were to try to do it now, not only do I not have as much interest or time to do it, I have other interests and things that I like to do instead. But I'm sure, hey, you know, don't give up, man. If you really want to learn, you should. If you have the motivation to, you should do it. But you know, I think when you're younger and you learn, it definitely is an advantage. It's kind of like what's his face, that tennis player, the bald-headed tennis player from back in the day, who was married to Brooke Shields, I think. Andre Agassi, I think his name is. If you look up his story, his dad is the one who pushed him to get into tennis at a young age, right? And that's what helped him to like really master the sport and become so skilled. And a professional tennis player, because of his dad pushing him at a young age. And same thing with Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, his dad was instrumental, man, in Michael Jackson's life and his mastery of music. If it wasn't for his dad, I don't think Michael Jackson would exist the way he did, So it's kind of like that. I think it, but that doesn't matter, man. I still go and learn stuff, and I don't care about that. You just got to put that out of your mind sometimes and just go after whatever it is you want to do. Your ship has not sailed, buddy. Marcus Line. You know what I did when I was younger, and actually, this goes to show you the other point of view. I played soccer all through my younger years. I was what was that noise? I played like what they call ASO. I don't know if you're familiar. ASO is American Youth Soccer Organization, I think it stands for. So I was in ASO. I played soccer from a young age, and I got good to a certain level. I did play high school, varsity, and all that stuff, and I played in college. But by the time college rolled around, I was too interested in girls and stuff, and that took my mind off of other things, and I became a frat boy and a washed-up athlete. I started drinking and stuff. That was only like my freshman year. I stopped drinking after that because I realized how I didn't like how alcohol made me feel. But anyway, that goes to show you, like, it doesn't always work. Soccer, you would think that I would become a famous soccer player or something, but I didn't, because it just didn't happen that way, even though I started at a young age. So, I mean, it's not a hard and fast rule. You could still not have the success that you're looking for and stuff. Although I will tell you a little bit about Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, he became who he was in large part to the fact that he felt like a dumbass in school. His teachers made him feel like a dumbass. He didn't do well in school. He was kind of an F student, I guess. But he dropped out at 16, I think it was, or even sooner than that. I think he dropped out at 15 or 16. And he just pursued soccer full time. He would go to the gym daily. He would do drills. He would train. He would basically play soccer. He would eat, sleep, and breathe soccer from the age of 16 on. And he dropped out of high school, right? And I think that's why he became who he did. It was that 100% focus on his goals of becoming a soccer player. He was really good at soccer, so he kind of, I think there's that thing too, you got to be good at it and you got to pursue it full time. You got to have that knack for it. All right, we got to transition to biceps very soon. This is our last set of this. All right, we're done with that. Cristiano Ronaldo, by the way, we have shared, we're pork chops. He and I are both pork chops, if you know what that means. We share Portuguese blood. I have some Portuguese blood in me. Okay. Mark Stein says, well, you're pretty damn inspirational, motivational. Thank you for that. Thank you, man. So I'm just trying to inspire people to work out, take care of themselves, look after their health. There's so many things coming after our health where like you have to be very alert and aware to all these attacks on this front towards our health. That's why I talked about the chemtrails and GMO foods and stuff. I think that's part of it. Not enough people talk about it. Like I said, pretty soon I'm going to start doing a stream where it's just me talking more so than lifting. It won't be lifting. This is more of a chat stream, but I'm going to do more of a professional style broadcast very soon. And it's going to touch on all those health related news / topics that are happening. I think that'll be something new that's not out there as much. There's no one really out there like doing a broadcast focused on health and fitness and nutrition and stuff like that. So that's my goal right now. All right. Biceps. Okay. Let's see where I'm at. So Marcus Line says, you're pretty damn inspirational. I was just thinking, I was doing that set. I just want to make sure you understand something. I look at it as, I'm really the result of like Jesus coming into my life. So he gets the glory, So I want you to remember that. It's not just like me tooting my horn or whatever. It's Jesus is a huge part of who I am and why I'm who I am. Otherwise, I'd be kind of like stuck in a dead end situation because that's where I was before I gave my life to him. So I highly recommend you checking out my free ebook, Jesus Lifts, and it's on my website, fezgarcia.com. There's no money has to exchange hands to get it. You download it straight to your device, EPUB format or PDF, and print it out, whatever you want. Make it available to everybody. All right, let's do another set. Good, glad to hear it, man. Definitely check it out. You said I'm a mountain. Thank you, man. I'm working on it, trying. This is 6 months in, so I feel like just so you guys know, this is a natural. I've been natural. I don't take steroids, never have. But I do have a foundation of muscle going back to when I was a personal trainer, like close to 10 years ago now. So probably more than that. So somehow like your body doesn't forget that you had a muscular physique. So that definitely helps me in getting back in shape. So let's do another set. Like I said, I definitely put on a little bit of fat. So, I mean, I look a little softer. When I control my calories a little bit more and start cutting seriously, I'll start to lose that. But right now, we're in the dead of winter. It's February 7th. It's like, we got, 3-4 months until it starts warming up like summertime. So we'll probably start cutting in like April. In April time, we'll do it. So far, I've been only doing vacuums and planks for core. That's it. I'm trying to keep it as tiny as possible. I don't want to build any bulk in my midsection because I have a tendency to be a little bit wider. I'm 33 inch waist. I don't have the tiniest waist, but so we're getting towards the tail end here. I gotta be done in like, I would say 20 minutes, maybe something like that, 25 minutes. I want to do traps and fit those traps in too. I still have to put some weight on the bar for that, but we have more biceps to do. Let me set up the dumbbells here. Give me 1 sec. I don't know why it keeps doing that on my end. It's saying that my stream stopped and there was a firewall blocking it or something like that. But then I refreshed the page and it looks like it's still up. I don't know. Can you, whoever's on the stream, can you let me know if it's actually working or what? Because that'd be nice to know. Is this still working or what? Am I on? Am I streaming? Anyone can help me out here? Let's do another step. Oh, yeah. Maybe not. I might not be streaming. Well, whatever. We'll just leave it on for a little bit. Finish up the workout. We're getting this side right here with the the longer head of the biceps. We'll get some more of those. Short rest time. Let's do it again.